go. Welcome into the live stream, McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. It is a Monday, and you got two choices on Monday. You can either mope around on Monday and make it worse than it is, or you can attack it on a Monday. It's up to you. You decide.
I never got that. Why people just dreaded Monday.
Because they hate their jobs.
Okay, fair.
That's it.
Yeah. Luckily, I've never had a job that I hated.
It's the lesson you have to teach your kids. You owe it to your kids to teach your kids that you cannot be so focused on money or geography or whatever that you get into something that you don't like.
I guess if we had to do photo shoots on Mondays, I would probably dread going to work every day.
But if you get up every day and you dread going to work every day, now there's going to be days in any job where you're like, this is drudgery. That's the reason they call it work.
What if you had to play Georgia every Saturday?
Well, you would know two things. You would know there's no pressure because you're losing. And you would know that if you played them every Saturday at the end of 1 year, you're all getting fired.
Yeah.
And then the new people can come in and get fired.
Yeah. Would you hate your job if you had to go to work every Monday?
Yes.
What if you had to play a quarterback behind the Cincinnati Bengals and you had to go to work on Monday morning?
Well, now Joe Burrow has health issues. He's worried. He's like, this appendix. He's like, I think the other one's hurt too. And like, you don't have but one. He's like, are you sure?
I think the stitches are loose.
Yeah. He looks at Lyle Collins and goes, I lobbied for you, man. I helped you get paid.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. All right, so welcome into the stream. We're having a little fun today. We're going to, unfortunately, talk about our Monday, our picks. Hey, I won Neal's picks on rebelgrove.com.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about it. You gotta switch your picks up or something.
All right, so we're gonna hang tight. I'm gonna start a audio file here, and then once that gets rolling, we'll get going.
Get the crack cocaine going.
Yeah, rain delivered. As you know, because you were the middleman. I've got a ton of rain now in the garage, and
we're gonna have the whole McCready family.
Carson sent me a thing. I just got into Fayetteville, and he sends me a text. I guess I've been there a couple hours. He sends me a text on Friday that goes, hey, Dad, all these drinks out here. Can I have one? I was like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, just know that, there's a lot of caffeine in them or whatever. He goes, I know all about them. I'm like, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, sir. When you can't sleep at 4 a.m, don't talk to me. But he was fine. He's young. Yeah. Youth, man.
Burn right through it.
Absolutely. So what's today? Today is
Today is September the 19th, Monday, all day long.
I have a numbering system that I do for the files, so I was doing that. All right, so here we go.
All right.
Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. We'll be with you for, I don't know, however long we're here. Hour, 15, hour 20 here on this Monday afternoon. It is September the 19th. We hope you had a great weekend. We appreciate you being here with us. Our numbers indicate that people like the show. We certainly appreciate that. Do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got all of our social media things listed here. We look like a NASCAR board. It's at McCready Siskey on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're even on TikTok.
How about that?
And then, of course, Rain Body Fuel on Instagram as well.
We got to get you to dance for TikTok.
I need more than some rain to do that.
Need something going in that rain.
I need, a little something. We're brought to you each and every week, twice a week, by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Tyler's got the
cherry limeade.
Cherry limeade. I've got the rainbow sherbet. Fresh out of the freezer, nice and cold. How about that?
A little icy.
Is it a little icy?
No, it just sounded good, though.
It does sound good. An icy rain. So we're with you. Tyler, how are you?
Man, you know what? If I was any better, I think I'd just change my name to Tyler McCready. What do you think?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did.
What'd you do?
I managed to. Well, I went and to a 6-year-old travel baseball tournament on Saturday. I do want to say a big thank you out to my guy, Brad Ewing at OUB. So our head coach gets. We had to thread the needle. Okay, so we had the last game of pool play, but we had to lose the game by less than 5, so we would play right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with a chance to get home early. If not, you're going to be sticking around.
You don't want that.
You don't want that. So our coach, the head coach, gets thrown out of the game with 1 out in the last inning, and it's coach pitch. Okay, and so he gets tossed. Now I do have to, immediately what goes through your head is,
what's going on?
He didn't do anything. I was like, really? You got thrown out for that? I should have been tossed from every game I've ever coached if he gets tossed from that.
Okay.
He didn't do anything. He literally just said, was asking a question. The guy ran him for asking a question.
Oh, maybe he was in a hurry to get home too.
Yeah, maybe so. So my man Brad Ewing comes in there and starts throwing sliders and cutters and everything to the 6-year-olds and strikes 2 out in a row.
Good.
So we actually lose by 2. We thread the needle. We get the next game. We get smoked. We go home. I'm home in time by the end of the 2:30 window. So
good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it really didn't affect my day.
So you got to see the 5 o'clock game, the 8 o'clock game.
Yeah, I literally got home. I think we got home 4:40. So I saw the whole night I saw most of the morning slate. The ones I wanted to watch.
I actually saw more football than I thought I was going to see going into the day. I didn't really know what my day in Fayetteville was going to be like, but I actually saw a good bit more than I thought I would. I think my girls are starting to understand that Saturdays in the fall are a football thing.
Yeah.
And so we went to lunch, me and Campbell and Caroline, at about 11, right as the game that was on in front of us. There were 2 games. Georgia, South Carolina was on, which didn't last long, and Cincinnati, Miami was on, which was fine. We had lunch.
Miami of Ohio.
Ohio, yeah. Had lunch, and then we went to I had to go with Caroline to the Kyle house to get some stuff, exchange some stuff, because when I come up, I'm also the conduit of transport. I'm transporting clothing.
That's how it works.
And so got back, went to the first tailgate. It started at the end of the Purdue-Syracuse game, which I'm still pissed off about. Just want you to know.
We're going to get there.
Still pissed off about it. Saw the end of that game. I'm still angry. Saw the beginning of Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, and then it went in transit from one tailgate to another tailgate. And by the time I got to the second tailgate, Ole Miss had a huge lead.
Yeah.
And I could tell the first, 4 plays that Ole Miss was going to win in blowout fashion because the line of scrimmage was not good.
Yeah.
For Georgia Tech.
I also know why they don't throw the ball 20 yards downfield.
They got issues. They don't have time. Yeah. So I saw that and then went to another tailgate thing, and then Campbell drove me back out to my hotel in Springdale, and I got there middle of the third quarter, Ole Miss game, late
Okay.
third quarter. Wrote a column, which was interesting because I'd had a few beers. And, yeah, I wrote a column, and then I did Chase's show.
Hey.
Did Chase's show, and then the girls picked me up, and we went out in Rogers for dinner because we didn't want to fight Fayetteville with game day going on and stuff. You knew. So we did that, and I got to see, quite naturally, they had the Arkansas game on, as you'd expect. They had that game, and I saw LSU Mississippi State on the other TV. And then I got back to my hotel by, I don't know, they were starting the second quarter of A&M Miami.
Okay.
So, because the girls were going out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going out. I was done.
Yeah.
I'd gone out the night before, and I'd had enough. I needed to chill because I had to get up in the morning and get back. But I watched A&M Miami till it was over, and then I hit the button because I needed to sleep.
You're out?
I was out.
I stayed up and watched a little bit of USC. I ended up somehow, I don't know how, somehow through the weekend, I only ended up with the bets we had on the podcast and my personal bets. I only ended up down 1 unit, which I'm only playing $25 units. So
Right.
I'll chalk that up to entertainment. Golly, dude. I mean, it wasn't just, I was the same way, and we'll talk about, but let's go ahead and go over the recap of the week. You ready to do this?
I mean, why not? I will say that I won Neal's picks at rebelgrove.com. I had a great week. I mean, an exceptional week at rebelgrove.com. I went 8-2.
That's hard to do.
On the SEC games. And then the rest of my deal, my competition with you was a total disaster. My competition with Troy Brown, I went 3-3 on picking MAC games.
That's okay.
So
no blood.
Clear, I need to dive into SEC and MAC and stay the hell away from the Sun Belt. I'm done. I played with the Sun Belt. I got too close to the sun. I got the belt. I'm done.
Yeah. You didn't bet with your heart. You bet with your head.
Well, and I didn't bet the one Sun Belt game that I think I felt best about, which was South Alabama plus 16.5. I should have just jumped all over that because Kane and them damn near won the game. Should have won the game. I'm mad at myself.
Did you hear about the DraftKings error, by the way?
No.
My man Jake Crane told me I guess early in the week, they guess they labeled it wrong and put UCLA plus like 13.5 early instead of the other way around, and they honored the bet.
How about that?
Yeah.
You have to if you put it in wrong.
Yeah. So Neal, you went. We'll go over your games.
Okay.
We went. My man Neal started off with a rough Saturday.
Yep.
You went. According to this, you went 2-4 in college.
Yeah, that's
you
correct.
went 1-4 in the NFL for a 3-8 week.
That's correct.
I went 3-3 in college, and then backed up that with a solid back-to-back weeks of 2-3 in the NFL. So,
yep.
Let's go over the games real quick. Georgia State minus 19. They lose. Our boys at Georgia State lose at home.
Yeah.
To Charlotte, 42-41.
I saw that. Was not happy.
Yeah, I know, man. I watched most of the game. I had it on one of the TVs. It was a late game. They'll be all right.
Charlotte had not shown signs of life prior to that.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I mean, you got to think Georgia State had 2 back-to-back weeks of South Carolina, North Carolina. You know what I mean? And it's probably an emotional deal for them too. You know.
Yeah.
But they'll regroup this week. All right, we both had Oklahoma minus 10.5 at Nebraska. Is that the easiest money ever made?
It was way up there. It was the easiest money not named the Ole Miss under.
Yeah, I had that one.
I didn't do that one and I don't. Anyway, I probably should have because I loved it. And as the game unfolded, I was like, son of a bitch, that was free money.
Yeah. So Oklahoma, Nebraska. I don't know. I hope ADs see this. Just because you change your head coach, just because you change your head coach in the middle of the week is not going to fix your season. So we'll talk about coaching changes in a minute. But
yeah, because we're going to get to a couple of teams in a little bit that are.
Yeah.
I mean, Herm Edwards out at Arizona State. Now, his deal's a little more complicated because there's an NCAA thing involved, and they're probably saying, hey, look, we got rid of him. We're following some swords here.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right, you had Purdue plus 1.5 at the Qs. So Bob sent me a text message at the weekend and said, I bet you Neal has thrown his remote.
I was trying to be a good boy. I was at Caroline's tailgate and I was being introduced to a lot of Caroline's friends and her friends' parents, and I was trying to be good. Purdue had it. The stupid penalty. You can't throw the flag right there. Now, that being said, you can't do the conversation that he had.
Right.
Get off the damn field. So instead of kicking off from the 30, they kicked off from the 10.
So they had 2 though, right?
2.
What was the other one? I saw Brahms. What was the other one?
I think it was on a player.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Brahm got one for
something.
So instead of it being – it's a 20-yard penalty. They kicked off from the 10.
Well, you go 15 yards, or it's like half the distance, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you kicked off from the 10.
Kicked off from the 10, so they gave them good field position, and they ended up mattering because they scored essentially – they scored on the last play. So it mattered. It cost Purdue the game, and Purdue was going to win. I had Purdue plus 1.5. And yes, I had to swallow the words. I was like, Carolina, I need to get another beer. Like right now. And she goes, what happened? I said, I was betting on Purdue.
All right, so let's take the other avenue. Do we have to start talking about Syracuse seriously now? We said this last week.
Yes and no. Yes, because they're winning, and kudos to them. No, because this is not going to last.
But I'm asking here.
Mm-hmm. I watched the
Who
game.
would they play in the ACC that's better than Purdue?
I don't know their schedule, but Clemson,
They drubbed Louisville.
Clemson, NC State, maybe Miami. I wasn't blown away by Miami of Florida, by the way. We'll get to that in a little bit. I wasn't blown away by them. They're not particularly good. They're fine.
All right, here's Syracuse the rest of the way. They play Wagner this weekend.
Okay, well, that's a win.
They get NC State at home.
That'll be a hell of a game. I would bet on NC State, having watched.
But it's now means a little bit. You have a different tone about that game than we did in August.
Sure.
Okay, let's say they're 4-1. They got to go to Clemson.
A loss.
So they're 4-2. They got Notre Dame at home.
I think they win that game.
It's 5-2. At Pitt.
I think they lose that game.
Okay, 5-3. At home versus Florida State.
Have a real shot. Toss up.
Okay. On the road at Wake Forest.
Probably a loss.
And then at Boston College.
That's a winnable game.
They're getting bowl eligible.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, they're fun to watch. They play really hard. They did not. It was a good game. It was the game I thought it would be. Purdue is really kicking itself today. They have to be angry at themselves. That was a game they should have won.
And you sit out here and you're looking at Purdue and what they're 1-2 with a pretty damn good football team. They should have beat Penn State as well.
They should have. Yeah, they could easily be 3-0. It's probably a tough week right now.
They got to be the best 1-2 team in the country.
Which is not an award you want.
No, you don't want that. You don't want to.
You'd rather be the worst.
Congratulations, man.
You'd rather be the worst 3-0 team.
Yeah.
All right, so who we got? I lost on Purdue.
Right, and then we're going to spend 10 seconds on this one because it broke my heart. My Troy Trojans.
Yeah.
You took App State minus the points, and my Troy Trojans, my Fighting John Summeralls.
Yep. Hell of what an effort.
If you look, guys, if y'all want to know why he's my guy, there is a audio clip of, I guess, John Summerall at halftime with the at halftime I go with a Troy announcer. That's my dude. You know, they came in there to fight. He can motivate. He can coach. He made the right decisions. I love it when the announcers have no idea what they're talking about. You're like, wait a minute, what are they doing? They're going to take a safety. Well, no shit, Sherlock. And he did what he had to do. And the one that breaks your heart is he was playing it like he's supposed to play it. They were setting trips into the boundary. It was very obvious what they were going to do. And he was playing, trap coverage on the corner, because he's waiting. They know they're going to have an out-breaking route trying to get it up. And it goes right through my man's hand at corner. I mean, he just has a backyard Sunday toss and catch for an interception, goes right through his hands. And then the next play, they hit the home run, the walk-off.
Yeah, and those plays like that will go down in Appalachian State lore forever. But if you're Troy, it's heartbreaking because you had that win. Now here's the thing for John and that team is they're building culture. their building, the fact that they went into Boone, into that environment, which was electric that day. I mean, they were super excited at App State to have game day and all that. It was a big deal. And you know that the students were packed, and the stadium was electric, and to stand there toe-to-toe with them and put yourself in a position to where you should have won the game tells you something.
Really dominated the game.
Tells you something about where you're going, I think, as a program.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they really, if you can dominate, it was very similar to, now App State came back at the end and all that stuff, but really from a momentum and controlling the game, I thought they controlled the whole game. And if you didn't know any better, you would say they were the better team watching that game.
Yeah.
But look, and they go into that environment, but if you do yourselves a favor and listen to my man Summerall's halftime deal, if you can find it. I don't know if somebody shared it with me. I don't know where it's at, but I sent him a note today, man. I'm proud of him. I'm glad he's leading my alma mater. I'm glad he's the guy leading the ship. I love him to death, and I look forward to what the future holds there with him.
Yeah.
All right, then, Neal, you had the greatest call of all time. This was actually legit. We had this on a video on our TikTok, the Nevada-Iowa under. You literally almost called it to the number.
I did.
Almost to the number.
Yeah.
I need to look back up and see exactly what you said, but you said Nevada's not going to be able to score, and we may get right at the number covering, and I think it was like 27-0.
Yeah, the over-under was 39.
39.
I was safe. It
was never in danger.
Mm-mm.
Why did it get delayed forever?
They had 2 weather delays.
Really?
They delayed them twice.
In Iowa?
Apparently so. I was very, very good on defense. They are legitimately an elite defense. They are legitimately a trash offense. But they are such a good defense that this week the Iowa – can't remember who they're playing. The Iowa whoever –
They're playing Rutgers because it's on your boys' short list.
The Iowa-Rutgers over-under is like 35.
It's 35.5.
And I'm thinking about going under again.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure Rutgers can score much against Iowa.
And
I don't think Iowa can score much against Rutgers.
It's
got 10-9 written all over it.
Maybe.
Well, someone's going to score.
Yeah.
Yes, Avery, we have a TikTok.
Yeah, and Neal is loving his dances that he's doing on there.
Yeah, I'm
dancing away.
Dancing away. And the more I get the rain in me, the more chance there is.
Hey. He will be dancing in Boise in about.
I'll be dancing just to stay warm. Damn right.
All right, and then your money line pick, you had the Georgia Southern.
They played well. I was gambling.
Did you watch that game?
I kept up with it.
All right.
I did not watch it.
We'll talk because this is going to lead into my picks anyway. I had Georgia Southern plus 11.5. So Georgia Southern is down 7. And then UAB's got the ball like 3rd and 7 or something. And this is at the end of the game. And they're just trying to UAB's trying to run out the clock. Georgia Southern's trying to get them to punt. And Cuz just breaks a long one, makes it a 14-point game. I start cussing now.
Yeah.
Well, then Georgia Southern drives back down the field, and at the end of the game, they throw a pick at like a 2. Like they're just driving. I said, come on. I mean, I'm looking for that backdoor cover. No. But it was a good game. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's kind of just how the possessions fell there. But Georgia Southern if they fell behind early.
Yeah.
And then
they kept being 2 scores down. They'd get to 1 and go back to 2.
Yeah.
Credit to UAB. It was a good win for them at home. And
they ran the ball effectively. UAB did in that one. All right, we talked about Oklahoma, Nebraska. That was a shocker. Not really. And then the 11 o'clock hour was pretty easy for your boy because I had Oklahoma minus 10.5 and Georgia minus 24.5.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
No doubts on that.
Free money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was able to, not even pay attention to the games and kind of,
on Neal's picks, I laid with Georgia. I laid 50 with Alabama and they covered. I laid 46.5 with Tennessee and they covered. By the way, I don't know if you know this. A little trivia for you.
Okay.
Of the AP Top 10 Saturday, it's the largest combined margin of victory in the history of the poll.
Meaning that the teams won by...
If you take Alabama won by whatever, Georgia won by whatever, all the way down to Kentucky won by whatever, and put it together, put that margin together, it's the largest ever.
That's interesting.
How about that?
Yeah. I'm in for that. I didn't know that.
So there's parity, but there's not parity. Which is interesting.
Yeah, well, a lot of us product of the games too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I bet if Alabama and Georgia would have played each other, it wouldn't have been that.
Would have been different.
Would have been different. We didn't have a lot of top 10 versus, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the best game of the week, technically, rankings-wise, the best game of the week was Texas A&M and
Miami.
Miami, right?
Yeah.
And it was a close game.
It's a bit of a snoozer.
All right. I guess we'll get into a little bit of this right now, unless you want to get into all of it here and whenever you want to get into it. Penn State and Auburn. I had the under at 48.5. I would have bet the same damn thing again. Exactly what I figured. I mean, I literally said it on the podcast Thursday. If Auburn wanted a chance to win that game, they had to have a clean game. Well, they didn't. They had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, they weren't clean at all.
And then defensively, they played okay to start. Really, the first half, they got tired. And they just started getting. They started getting bullied because they were. I don't know if they were tired or what the deal was, but I told somebody, said, "Oh man, you're going to hit this one too." And I was like, "No, this game's going over." I saw early that first drive of the second half, it was a different energy, man. I don't know what happened, but that first drive of the second half, Penn State came out and basically just shoved it right up their ass, and it was a different energy. So I lost that one. I mean, it is what it is. I'd bet it again. I guess we can talk about the other stuff later on here in a minute, but and then I had the second easiest bet in the history of mankind. Really the first one was the Ole Miss Georgia Tech under.
Yeah, it's free money.
So I had somebody that I told to take the under. They asked me what my favorite bet of the week was. I told them it was that one, and the Oklahoma was my second one. They had the nerve to text me after 5 minutes and go, "Oh my God, this thing's gonna hit over."
No, it's not.
And I was like, "Dude, you know who you are, and you're probably listening." I was like, "Dude, it's 5 minutes into a football game. Everybody needs to relax."
And you could tell that Georgia Tech wasn't going to score. And Lane talked about this today. They could have scored more points, but Lane knew Jeff has hot seat stuff. He didn't need – look, coaches don't like to embarrass other coaches. No. And Lane probably could have put 60 on the board, but that would have been a real jerk thing to do. And he didn't do it. So you knew when you could tell that Georgia Tech wasn't going to score. And they weren't. You knew that quickly. Right. Like they're not scoring. They might get 7, but that's it. You knew this is going under because Lane's not going to let Ole Miss get into the mid-50s. He's not going to do that to Jeff Collins. He doesn't want to do that to Jeff Collins. People forget about Lane is that he grew up in a coaching family. It's more than just him. His brother's a coach. His dad's a legendary NFL coach who coached at the college level. You don't like to humiliate other coaches.
One reason, and it was the first half for sure. One reason is I kind of had a feel. I don't know why I had the feeling. I just know what's coming up here in a couple of weeks. At any point in time in the first 4 games, and it will probably happen again this weekend. At any point in time in the first 4 games, if you just want to get a first down, all you got to do is turn around and hand it to somebody.
They got 2 and sometimes 3 dudes in their backfield that are machines.
And I want to and you got to give credit where credit's due too, right? Is not only they're talented, but the tempo and the scheme of it and things like that. Like Georgia Tech got tired quick. They looked tired. Really, second half especially, but towards the end of the second quarter, they looked tired already. Tempo got to them, and you got good dudes to hand it to. And it's like it never quits. It's like you get, you get Evans in there and you start trying to, get ready on the move, and then Quinshawn comes in there and puts it right on your nose and makes you like it. So I think they got, and, you haven't seen the other kid, and he's pretty good too. He just comes in and scores touchdowns. He's got to have the best touchdown touch ratio of all time.
Yeah, he's put it in the end zone some.
But at the end of the day,
I had not a grammatical mistake. It was a content mistake. I was writing about Ole Miss's running game, and I meant to write Bentley had 9 carries for 28 yards and 2 scores. And again, keep in mind, I'd been drinking in the heat, and I'm typing on a phone. I wrote that he had 9 carries for 28 touchdowns and 2 scores. And, of course, people won't let you live it down.
Oh, they let you know that quickly, too.
Oh, yes. I get copy edited by some of the folks at rebelgrove.com.
I love it. But, no, at the end of the day, and then here's kind of the story for me. And, again, I know what I'm looking at.
You talking about Auburn again?
No, we're talking about Ole Miss.
Okay.
I know what I'm looking at. I think I'm going to get a little bit of piece of the puzzle answered. There's a lot of questions I still have. But I think I'm going to get some things answered hopefully this weekend because Tulsa's going to sling it around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I haven't seen yet. But defensively, And we're talking about quarterbacks. You're talking about running backs. You're talking about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The story of the year may end up being the defense.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. To me, there's no doubt about it. It's why when people say, what do you think? And they ask me all these questions about offense. Can they pass protect? What do you think about the quarterbacks? Can they protect the ball?
That's what it reminded me of. I saw somebody ask about pass protection here a second.
I didn't even see that. My thing is, hey, man, are you watching the defense? Because they passed the eye test.
Yeah,
they really do.
The only thing you haven't seen
is what happens when someone slings it.
And slings it. I get there's two things for the team I haven't seen yet.
Tulsa's going to sling it, but Tulsa,
they're not going to stress you. They're going to
Right.
sling it and they're going to make you cover it. Are you going to be worried about them beating you by 60? No, but they're at least schematically going to give.
Yeah.
There's going to be something in there schematically that's going to challenge you.
And they're going to throw it so many times that something's going to, and they got good receivers, 3 good receivers. Yeah. Something's going to pop and they're going to get a big play somewhere because that's what they do. And they've scored points, but I'm not going to be like, oh, God, see, they gave up a touchdown. Oh, look, they're in trouble. No, because you can give up stuff. I am curious to see whether they can put enough, can they pressure the quarterback into getting him out of his rhythm? And can they cover receivers where they don't let receivers over the top, all that stuff? And I think the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah. That's one question I have, which I think will get answered this week. And then I don't know if this question is going to get answered until October 1st, is offensively, I would like to see, because it's going to happen. They've set the script for it.
Sure. I think I know what you're about to say.
You're going to see a lot of 8-man front come October 1st.
Yeah.
And
they're going to say, hey, we're going to take away the run.
Or we're going to try to. Now,
you're
either going, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to come out of that game and going, you know what? They tried to stop the run and they couldn't.
At which point you're Billy Badass. And
at that point, you're feeling good about your rest of your season.
Yeah, sure.
Or two is they take away the run and then you're playing a team. And I saw this stat. Maybe I'm dead ass wrong here, but because I thought Alabama did, but I saw a stat or a tweet or something the other day. Cole Kubick, I think, said something that there's only 2 FBS teams that haven't given up a passing touchdown: Alabama and Kentucky.
Is that right?
Now, I didn't fact check that.
I don't know.
I thought there was a guy at Texas. I thought Texas scored a touchdown on a pass, but anyway, whatever. But they have one of the best pass defenses in the country statistically right now. So you're going to feel good about that part, right?
Yeah.
I'll be interested. I mean, so if they, you're going to find out that answer to that question. But look,
because Kentucky's defensive line's pretty good. They're going to try to take away the run, and they're going to try to make Ole Miss put the game in Dart's hands, or I assume it's Dart. I'd be shocked if it's not Dart.
Come on.
Well, we're still.
Are we still having this conversation?
We did it again today, which is
no, you didn't.
He did it again today.
Did y'all need 5 minutes to kill?
No,
you need some.
He actually just kind of got the question, and he goes, "I know this isn't the answer everybody wants, but for right now, this is kind of what we're doing." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, I'm interested to see that.
And I would think this. I think that, and people need to know this too. When you can run the football and you can play defense, that travels.
That's what I wrote. If that's your identity, is hey, we're a good defensive team that can run the football. That's a pretty good one to have.
It's a better one than playing offense and second on defense.
To me, that's why I thought it was interesting that he got so upset at Dart at the end of the first half when Jackson threw the pick. Because I think that was Lane, and he confirmed that today. That was Lane going, hey, look, when you're moving the ball on the ground and your defense is stopping them, you don't take chances. You don't make mistakes.
That was a bad decision.
It was a 19-year-old decision.
Yeah,
that's what it was. It was a young quarterback.
That was feeling yourself a little bit too much.
And you get to learn lessons. The great thing about that was you get to learn that lesson, get your ass chewed. 2 things happened. 1, you were winning the game. And 2, he came back and responded well. I thought that was a big thing for Ole Miss, was that Dart made a really, really dumb mistake.
Yeah.
Got lit up by the coach and then came out and responded. Thought that was a good sign for them.
Yeah. And then I'd be interested to get Pete. I'm sure will break this down on your show on whatever day you do that.
It's called
Wednesday.
Pete's Pigskin Preview. It's brought to you each and every week by the people at Walk-Ons. Walk-Ons puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine like po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, 70-plus TVs, more than 40 ice-cold beers on tap. Visit them in Oxford or Ridgeland.
So, by the way, I went Friday. Had me a
Attaboy.
cold beer, some beignets, had a burger. That Thousand Island burger. Oh,
Good for you.
I don't know what it's called, but it was bacon and Thousand Island, fries, beignets, cheese sticks, beer. We went all out. Yeah. Me and my son. I probably look like an alcoholic sitting there with my son drinking. No, but I'd be interested. So obviously I only saw it on TV copy on my phone as I was watching, but most of his downfield completions looked like it was on the same exact play.
So what, Jackson's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit it. They play action cross. They had a cross. They kept hitting over and over. Hit it early in the game. Hit it 3 or 4 times maybe. Hit the same play, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you got a hole in the scheme, like it's a good topic to talk about with Georgia Tech. Here's what drives me nuts, man, is when you're struggling on offense and you can't run the ball, the answer is not to bring all 11 dudes into a closed space. The answer is to spread it out. When you're struggling with protections, spread it out so everybody can see what's coming. I mean, Georgia Tech is like, we're struggling. Let's bring all 11 dudes into a 2x2 box and let's see if we can run the football. I never understand that. But they found a hole and popped it. But me and my man Dave Shoebate were going on that whole tangent today. But then my last game, my money line, the Michigan State Spartans went out to Washington and got throttled.
Got lit up.
Michael Penix.
Did you have Michigan State?
I did.
Okay.
I went 3-3.
Because I was doing so bad that I was like, I can't remember who Tyler picked, but I'm sure he's winning them all.
No, I went 3-3.
I was like booking my flight to Boise.
I went 3-3. But look, I was losing my mind. Michael Penix Jr. played for my guy Tom Allen up there in Indiana. I mean, he hasn't thrown it in the ocean from the beach in like 2 years. And then he gets some plays by Michigan State Spartans and looked like
he was fantastic.
Looked like Steve Young spinning it. I mean, just
he was fantastic.
Throwing darts.
He was. He looked great.
And credit to Michigan State, they didn't give up, but they just couldn't stop him, man. And Michigan and Washington went up down the field. Washington's probably a little better than I thought they were, so my apologies there. But yeah, they get after it. All right, ready to roll in the NFL before we get to these other hot topics, or you want to finish up these hot topics?
No, we can get to the NFL because we can always come back. Feel like I need a little therapy after that. So,
yeah.
A word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with the challenge in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easy to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts. It was a life changer for me. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable, it's entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. Switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW.
All right, here we go, NFL, and then we'll get back to some hot topics off the call sheet here, off the betting sheet. You had the Ravens. We'll start it off hot. Let's just start right here.
Yeah.
You had the Ravens minus 3.5.
I did.
And I had the Dolphins plus 3.5.
You did.
How did you feel about that game?
So let me take you through my day. Let me take you through my day.
I got some 4-letter text from you yesterday.
Let me take you through my day. I set an alarm for 6:20 in the morning. I told the girls they didn't need to get up and meet me or any of that stuff. Go sleep in. I'll see you soon. Got up at 6:20. I was out the door by 6:50, cruising. I got back here about 12:30. I'd listened to the first part of the Ravens game. Everything was going good.
It was.
I got in here, got set up because I immediately came in, told my wife hello, told my son hello, and I'm like, I got to work. I got work to do because I got 10 thoughts to work on. I had 3 Zoom interviews to turn into shows. I was busy. I got set up, turned the game on there, turned the game on there, and turned Red Zone on there and started working. And every time I looked up, Ravens are killing it. I'm like, there they go. I'm getting a W. I didn't even sweat that one. I was kind of sweating some of the other games. They're up like 20 points.
It was 21 was it 21-7, 28-7.
28-7. And I'm thinking, oh, we're good. And at 2 o'clock, I taped the Mason Brooks show. Okay. I process it. I Google Drive it to Caroline and immediately log back into Zoom and tape the Troy Brown show.
Having no idea what's going on.
I mean, I'm looking, but yeah.
You're not plugged in.
I'm not plugged in.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to focus on those.
Jalen Waddle, so you got to catch.
So I tape with Troy, process it, Google Drive it to Caroline. She's texting me back because she's like, "Hey, what do you want to do with this?" And so I got a lot going on, but it's all good. I'm in a great mood because every time I look up, they're ahead, and Cleveland's ahead. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm feeling like I'm getting at least 2 of the early games.
Yeah,
and then at 3, I tape with Davison Igbinosun, and I finished with Davison. It was a little shorter because he had to go to film and stuff. I process it, and as it's sending, I look up. And Miami's ahead. And I look up, and the damn Jets are doing an onside kick. And I said, I don't know who tries to make a living betting on this shit, but you're insane.
Yeah.
I got news for people. And DraftKings, if you're listening, we'd love for you to sponsor. But if you're betting on NFL games, you're out of your damn mind. You're out of your there is no free money anywhere ever.
Dude, it's the craziest. I tell people all the time. It's literally a coin flip. And like, here's the thing is like when you hit it, like this is what gets you though. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was 2-3 yesterday. Matter of fact, that's wrong. Yesterday, I know we put on a podcast. I ended up +1 unit on Saturday with other bets that I placed. Some of them were Quick U clients versus Quick U clients, so I didn't talk about those. But
right.
So I did okay Saturday. I was up +1 unit, but I lost. I was, I guess, down 2 units yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go and I'm like, okay, I'm taking the Packers. I bought it down 0.5 point. I'm taking the Packers at 9.5. And then you watch the game, and then you're like, oh, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Bears are going to struggle. Aaron Rodgers is going to come out. They're going to beat them by 17, 18 points, 17 points, 20. That's what happens. And you're like, knew it. And then it gets you sucked right in. Like now I think I'm an NFL expert heading to Monday night.
Well, I know I'm not an NFL expert.
But it's like the NFL, this is why it's such a great sport.
Yeah.
They do such a good job. It doesn't matter what the line is. It doesn't matter. That game, every game, usually comes down to the last 7 to 8 minutes of a game.
It's the constant reminder that to put on one of those uniforms, you have to be really good. And so there's not a lot of there's just not a lot of bad. It's just true. There's not a lot of bad play.
And it's thoroughly entertaining. I mean, you sit there and like, all right, so let's take what game? All right, so the Ravens game, Ravens-Dolphins game.
I think we've talked about it enough.
But they were beating the piss out of them.
I'm aware.
To where colleges are shut it down, and you look up, Tua throws 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns. People are talking about him as an MVP candidate today. And let me tell you what, my man McDaniel, now he should be at a Comic-Con.
You all are watching a murder, right? Yeah. He's just like stabbing me.
My man McDaniel should be at like a Comic-Con or Harry Potter, convention.
Yeah.
But you know what he's doing? He's coaching the shit out of the Miami Dolphins.
He is doing that.
And he is a ball coach. I don't care. Hey, you just keep calling plays, okay? I'll keep making fun of him about looking like he needs to play the trumpet, be at Comic-Con, Harry Potter. He just keeps calling plays and shoving up everybody's ass and making them like it. He's got some weapons. They will score points. They can play defense. Watch out for my Dolphins now.
That was a big win for them.
A big win for them.
Yeah.
They're 2-0.
All right. I feel like we've spent enough.
Right.
I feel like we've spent enough time on that show because now we get to go to Cleveland.
Well, let's go
Jets.
Cleveland and Jets. Hey, did you see the end of that game or did you?
Yes, I saw the end of the damn game. That's what I was texting you about.
I know. I just had to.
Yeah, I saw it.
I had a zing. I had to get you a little bit.
I mean, I was like 6 thoughts into 10 thoughts. I was thinking, hey, we're gonna get done. halftime of the Cincinnati game, you're going to be able to go outside, light the grill, pour a cold one. It took me half an hour to recover from the emotional damage that was done by the Cleveland freaking Browns.
How about the Browns and the Jets and the Bengals? I mean, and the Ravens Dolphins all happened within like 10 minutes.
That's what I just told you. It was devastating.
Oh, I did. Look, I'm glad that it
because my wife's like, if you get stuck in Boise,
I'm glad it helped me on that. But I actually felt bad for you because I was like, oh, he's pissed. All right, so the game that you did, this is what keeps you coming back right here, is you had the Jaguars plus 3.5.
And
you're like, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what – I knew it, by gosh.
Actually, because the Colts always play terrible down there.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville's – they're not bad.
Dude.
They're not a playoff team.
No, but they're
not bad.
They're not the first pick in the draft bad.
No.
But that's what keeps you coming back right there because you knew how that game was going to go.
I did.
And you picked it. And you're like, see, told
you. But
I
was so close to 3-0 in the early.
You were.
I mean, that's what's maddening about it. I mean, I was right there from 3-0.
Really 4-0 because we'll get this early game right here is the Patriots and Steelers. You were close on that one too.
Yeah, I was real close. That was back and forth. It
was back and forth, but you had a legit chance at the end of the game right there to win that one.
I did.
They had the ball with a chance to win.
I had no bad picks.
You had no bad picks?
Because even the Raiders game, I don't even want to talk.
You got like backdoored the whole day.
I'm so angry at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Backdoor. I guess you can't really call Steelers a backdoor.
No, it's not.
But you got backdoored on 3 of your 4 losses.
I'm aware.
That's bad.
Real bad. The Raiders, if they just tackle Kyler Murray, the game's over. He had him in his grasp. Just don't go for a knockout. Just bring him down. Put him down. Say, great game, Kyler. Good job. Then help him back up. Pat him on his head. And go celebrate.
Yeah.
But instead, he tried to knock him out because he wanted a kill shot or something. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
Are
you talking about
the play at the end before they scored?
All right, because you talking about the one they ended up getting holding on the defense.
Yes,
I agree. I thought that's what you were talking about. Let's make sure. All right, I've abused you enough on the NFL. I'll switch over to my NFL. It started off. My pain started very similar. My pain started on Thursday night when I had the Chiefs -4. Okay, so
it felt like I got backdoored the whole damn day. Okay, so everybody just leave me alone. Everybody phrasing and stuff. Yeah, I hear you.
I like these my people in here.
It was like a colonoscopy.
Did you drop the soap, Neal?
Felt like it.
All right, sorry, Mom. I know that's not even a cuss word. By the way, I got my mom. I told her she cannot say anything about my cussing anymore for the rest of my time. I busted her up this weekend.
Okay, good.
She's got a new nickname. My mom's new nickname is Shooter. So
yes, I wanted Kyler to be treated like juice. That's right, Connor. Just tackle him, pet him on his head, and send him on his way. You had the game won.
Yeah.
Instead, you let him run around, and then he scores. They had like 4 penalties.
Yeah, they had like 8 shots at the end zone from the 5-yard line.
And the defensive holding penalty, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
That wasn't defensive holding either, though. I mean, they're getting a little. But they're emphasizing this contact stuff downfield.
Right.
And look, I'm about it, and they're trying to make the offense. They want points scored and all that stuff. But dude, that was terrible. And I'm not an offensive guy. I hate that. All right, so my first backdoored of the year was the Chiefs and the Chargers on Thursday night. I've never been so pissed. I actually, for me only betting $25 on a game, I was really highly pissed. So it's 4th and 1. My man Justin Herbert can't even feel his ribs. Have they come out and said a diagnosis with him yet?
Torn rib cartilage.
Torn rib cartilage. I mean, he was in pain, dude. He got stroked on one. He was in pain. He couldn't even throw the ball away. Like the play before, he comes in there, he's like, ugh. And then what does it do on 4th and 1? Let's don't check it down on 4th and 1 and get the first down. Let's throw the best throw of the NFL season. Let's throw a 40-yard dime in 2-man in trail technique. Let's throw a 40-yard dime. That I'm telling you, the window, I shit you not, the window was less than like 7 inches to make that throw. 40 yards downfield.
Did you see the cornerback look back like, oh my God, threw that?
So that was 4th and 1. Let's don't check it down and get the first down. Nope, let's throw a 40-yard dime. So that was because we're covering at this point. Okay?
Yeah, I'm aware.
All right, so then where I get really pissed off is it's 4th and goal and you're down 10 points.
Everything in the book says kick the field goal.
Everything in the history of football says hey, let's kick the field goal because I got an onside kick it either way.
He had Chargers +4.
He did. I swear they need to do an investigation. My guy had money on his own team.
He had Chargers +4.
I mean, I don't mind you betting on your own team, but damn. And like
he got his points.
He goes for it on fourth down, and so that screwed me. I had Chiefs -4. I felt really good about that one.
Yep.
The Washington Commanders. If there's never been an example, they played the Detroit Lions yesterday. Same thing we're talking about. They were down 20-something, 22-0.
Yeah.
They come storming back damn near. Look, and let's talk about this too. I'm so irritated at these analytics stuff when you're down 14 going for 2. All right, look, for us guys that have you +1.5, that's not what we need to do. Because if you don't get it when you're down 14, then that means you have to go for 2 again. If you don't get it, then we don't get covered. So let's just take this bad boy. When you're the underdog, they should have a rule that says you can't do that.
Yeah.
It really messes with my spreads. I don't like that. But Washington's not bad now.
No.
Carson
Wentz is actually playing pretty well.
He's got some weapons.
He does.
All right, so they got Curtis Samuel playing
well. It's almost
well.
like it helps to have guys who can catch the ball.
It does. You got McLaurin, you got Curtis Samuel, and you got my guy from Penn State, Dotson. All right, and you got my guy, J.D. McKissick, that I coached from Arkansas State in the backfield with Josh Kiffin. They got some dudes. Good on defense. That surprised me. I do want to make a public apology, though, while we're here.
Okay.
I was dead wrong back when, and this before we're doing but when I did my draft podcast deal, I was not high on Aiden Hutchinson going in the draft.
Yeah, you were wrong.
I'm dead wrong on that one.
He's fantastic.
He's playing 10 times better than I ever thought he would. And when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll tell you. He's playing extremely well.
He's got a great motor.
And I just didn't. Yeah, I knew he was a try-hard guy, motor guy, but you saw what he did when he played against good competition last year at Michigan, and I was really down on him.
But they could do things to him at the college level that, as weird as this sounds, you can't do at the pro level. If you double and triple a guy at the pro level, the other guy's going to eat you alive.
Your quarterback's going to be hurt.
Yeah, and so he's getting more one-on-ones, and he's so athletic.
Yeah, but I'll call a spade a spade. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But he's doing really good. He played well yesterday. We talked about the Dolphins. Saints and Buccaneers. I had the under at 44 was almost as easy money, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what brings me back. It's because, we talked about it, and they can't score points, and then at halftime the score's 3-0. So I was like, oh, that's easy money. That's what brings you back. Look, the Saints are in trouble, man.
Yeah, they are.
And I've said, I don't know. I mean,
they are. They've got major issues in
who's the backup quarterback? Is Book? I don't even know.
No, they got rid of Book.
Saints fans.
They got rid of Book. They're not good enough, and they're the third best team in their division. Panthers. I think the Panthers are better than the Saints.
But they're 0-2.
So
they played the Giants and the Browns.
Yeah,
they're good on defense. I like their defense, but they're atrocious on offense. And this is you got to score points in this league. But anyway, and then I'm going to end it with this: our Bengals. We're 7.5-point favorites at the quarterbackless, wide receiverless, running backless Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And they look like a JV team on offense. And same thing we just talked about with Georgia Tech. When you are having trouble protecting the quarterback, stop bringing everybody in. They get all these, everybody wants to get cute with their formations and bring, we're going to get tight cluster to the right, trips cluster to the right, we're going to get doubles to the left, we're going to go empty. These tackles can't tell, and the quarterback can't tell. I don't care who you are. When you start bringing everybody in there, it's very difficult to dictate and understand where protection's coming from and where you need to send the protection. When you spread them out, okay, and I see, okay, I got two high safeties, and I see that safety start cheating down a little bit, okay, I know he's coming, we're fanning to the right. It identifies itself so clean, so easy, and it's easy to throw hots and all that stuff, which they still do in the NFL. They can't protect the guy, man. I mean, they can't. We spent all this money. I say I'm being a fan here, so I apologize. I am a fan of the Bengals. Spent all this money in the offseason on offensive linemen, and hell, they're worse.
Yeah.
He's getting throttled, man.
Yeah, only one offensive lineman played well yesterday.
Like, when I have to see Joe Burrow scrambling for first downs, not going to be a good day.
Lyle Collins was horrible yesterday.
And look, Parsons is the real deal.
He's a stud.
But he looked like, and I know he's going to be good. This dude looked like Lawrence Taylor yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen people come off the edge like, dude. But when you go out there and you go play, I mean, let's look at their division. Baltimore, okay. Who else is in the division?
Pittsburgh.
You saw what T.J. Watt did the week before.
Yeah.
So that guy's going against T.J. Watt and Parsons back-to-back with similar results. And so, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to start using it against them when they play premier defensive ends. Just freaking take the other team. Because they're going to be – they got the fan Super Bowl push on Vegas. And, geez, McChristmas. But Connor said –
hey, look, their next few games, they could get buried. They've got just the next handful of games for them. They go to the Jets on Sunday.
Okay.
They come home for a Thursday night game against the Dolphins. Then they go to the Ravens.
That could be a great uniform game.
It could be. They go to the Ravens, to the Saints. They get the Falcons at home, at Cleveland, Carolina at home, at Pittsburgh, at Nashville. Still got to play Kansas City, Cleveland. Still got to play Buffalo. This deal, listen, it's rough.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is I see my man.
They have to beat the Jets. They've got to beat the Bengals at home, and that's going to be a challenge.
Not the Bengals.
The Dolphins. They got to beat the Dolphins at home.
Whew.
That'll get you to 2-2, and then you get a showdown with the Ravens. And if they could somehow beat Baltimore, they got a chance because they get New Orleans and Atlanta on back-to-back weeks. So you can get going, but if
you got to get going.
But if you can't protect the quarterback, it's about to get late early.
Yeah, and then my man GJG23, also known as AirPods, that's in here. That's the guy that jacked up our whole system, the AirPods. He says, what's wrong with the O-line coach for the Bengals? This ain't about the O-line coach. There's nothing wrong with the schematics of the protection. It's he's getting his ass beat by that guy.
Yep, that's it.
It's not a scheme thing. It's not a coach thing. That's a player thing. But has nothing to do with a coach. It's not like he's teaching them, hey, look, I want you to get our franchise quarterback killed back here. That's not the scheme. So it is what it is. All right, so finishing up week 3 recap. Neal, you were 3-8.
Yep.
I was 5-6. So here's the standings going in after 25% of the season. The standings on the road to Boise standings.
Mm-hmm.
The road to Boise.
Mm-hmm.
Neal, you're 12-15-1. You're minus 2.3 units.
That's correct.
I am 15-13 plus 2.73 units. So by the math that they used to teach us before all this Common Core stuff came in, I'm up 5.03 units.
Okay.
Look, and I did that without Common Core. Look at there.
Look at you.
I didn't have to write out 78 steps. So that puts me up 5.03 units going into week 4. So you may want to keep that in mind when you do your money line pick this week.
Yeah, no, I gotta make some noise here soon. For sure.
All right. You want to get into this other fun stuff?
Yeah. Before we do,
yep.
I want to tell you that we are also brought to you by Clean Side Wipes. They're the 2021 Safer Choice Partner of the Year. It kills COVID in 30 seconds. It's the only thing on the market that does that. It's a broad-spectrum hospital-grade, antimicrobial efficacy, citric acid base, no harsh chemicals. It's a simple one-step. No rinse, cleaning, and disinfecting. Removes film left over by harsh chemicals such as ammonia, bleach, and alcohol. Clean Side has the lowest toxicity rating allowable by the EPA. That means it poses the lowest risk to the health of employees, patients, students, customers, or the environment. Citric acid-based Clean Side germicidal wipes provide powerful efficacy against pathogens without the potentially harmful effects of other chemical disinfectants, all in an easy-to-use wipe. It's great for schools, for daycares, nurseries, hospitals, long-term care facilities, office buildings, households, and more. To get it in quantity size, contact my friend Todd Abbott at wipesandgloves@gmail.com. That's wipes, WIPES, and the word and, A-N-D, gloves @gmail.com.
Dude, you're getting better at that every week.
Thanks, man.
I'm impressed.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I had no shot.
I'll take some with me to Boise. We're also brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar.
You notice how I'm like done, so
you got another one in your bag you could grab. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. And hey, listen, if you feel so inclined when you're hitting the like button and the subscribe button, go on Twitter or Instagram. Send them a message that you appreciate them sponsoring McCready and Siskey. That make us happy, make them happy. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. All right.
All right, so here's a question I got for you. Herm Edwards out. There's talk, my friend J.G. Tate. Okay. JG covers Auburn for Rivals.com. Jay's been a buddy of mine forever. We got on the Auburn beat at the same time. JG, and I didn't hear it because I wasn't watching, but I've been told about it, so I'm going to lightly paraphrase Jay. I'm told that Jay said that if Auburn's game Saturday, they entertain Missouri in an 11 a.m. game at Jordan-Hare. I think his loose phrasing was that if this game gets spicy, meaning close, if it's competitive, if in the fourth quarter the verdict is still not out, okay, Brian Harsin might not get through the weekend. So here's my question for you. If you're Auburn, let's say this game gets spicy. Use Jay's word.
What does that mean?
It means close.
Okay.
It means, look, Auburn's supposed to beat Missouri.
Yeah,
They're six and a half, 7-point favorite.
Yeah.
You're supposed to beat Missouri at Auburn. Okay? You are. This is not a good Missouri team. You're supposed to beat Missouri.
Okay.
So let's say instead of winning by 13, with 5 minutes to go, it's a tie game. That's spicy. Okay? That's spicy. It's, we're watching this because this could not go, whatever.
Right.
Let's just say for kicks and giggles that Missouri kicks a field goal and wins the game. Okay? I think we all know what's coming at the end of this year.
Okay.
Is there any positive, because I think the answer is no to this, is there any positive to firing a coach on September the 26th?
No. Here's where I get frustrated, and it's hard for me because I have friends there. All right. I'm not even talking about, they are a Quick U client, but I'm not even talking about that. But I got friends there.
Sure.
I played there where I sat the bench and watched everybody else play. And guys that I play with, Jimmy Brumball's a friend of mine who's coaching there. I mean, I got friends there. We talked about this, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was now. Here's where I'm at, and I try to keep a clear mind on this, here's the truth. The guy was he 6-0 before he started losing last year, 6-1? Grind could probably tell me. He had a good start of the year.
I can't remember.
It was a good start to the year.
I think that's right, yeah.
Finished, struggled. Bo gets hurt. Go to TJ Finley, yada, yada, yada. And then we're 3 games into this season. So we're 15 games into this guy's tenure. And in the guy, he's 2-1 this year. Got beat good at home the other day. Why did he get beat good at home? Because they turned the ball over 4 times. And you're not good. They aren't good enough to survive that. I don't give a crap who they play. I don't care if they played San Jose State.
Or they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback enough to where if you turn the ball over 4 times, you're going to win the game. That doesn't happen like that.
Does it reflect poorly on him? I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. This is where this is me. Sometimes people don't understand about podcasting is that sometimes you have to have different opinions.
Yeah, fodder.
To make it work. Does it reflect poorly on him at all that he brought in Zach Calzada? And I think he was the guy that brought in Robbie Ashford. And he may have brought in A.J. Finley. I can't remember.
TJ Finley.
A.J. plays for Ole Miss.
Yes.
Does it reflect poorly on him that those are the guys you brought in and none of them can handle this?
See, where I'm at is I don't think it has anything to do with the players. I think this is you saw them get rid of Allen, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. This is the guy that's the head coach not wanting to play by the same rules that the people who are spending the money wants them to play by. And you're 15 games into a stretch. After one season, you attempted a coup. It did not work.
Yeah.
And you basically handicapped the guy.
But it was the second coup, and this is what has to be, not to interrupt you, Tyler, this is what's important to note for people who don't keep up with it. The first coup was half successful. They wanted to get rid of Malzahn, and they did.
Yep.
But they wanted to hire Kevin Steele to replace him. That's who the boosters wanted, your friend Kevin Steele.
Yep.
And instead, Alan Green stepped in and said, nope, not doing it this way. It's not the way we're going to do it with me. I'm going to hire the coach. I'm the AD. And then I don't know whether Brian Harsin was his first choice, his 10th choice, or somewhere in between.
Right.
I don't know. But he hired Brian Harsin. He hired a coach from Boise State who had really never been in the Southeast. He coached a year at Arkansas State. He'd really never been down here. He didn't do things the way that Auburn would like to do things.
Correct.
And Harsin, and I mean this is a compliment to a degree, is a principled guy who said, this is the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I respect it too.
But as soon as he didn't win that way, right?
Right.
They said, hey, didn't work. Do it our way. He said, nope. And they said, then we're going to run your ass. And then they didn't. They wanted to fire him last year. They did all the stuff with the girl and all that stuff. They tried to ruin him. They hung him out. And the moment that you hang the guy out, right, it's over. It's been over for a long time. That's the truth here. And so my question with Auburn really is not what happens with Harsin, because to me that's a fait accompli. It is done. It's just a matter of time. My question is, once you do it, what next? Because you just guys, you're setting yourself up to just keep repeating. And they don't have an AD in place right now. They've got interim number 2 as the AD. I think if followed Jay's writing
someone
correctly.
there.
So you have your second interim. I've heard some names about people that they're talking to about being the AD, but I don't know what the timing on that is. I would hope, for their sake, that you're getting an AD in place before you make a permanent head football coach hire, because otherwise you're setting the stages to do this again, where the new AD can come in and go, well, it wasn't my guy, and he's losing.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem for me is you're 15 games into a guy's tenure. And let's go back in history. I mean, Grind's on here. Let's go back in history. How many years in a row did they try to run off Gus Malzahn? I mean, it was every freaking year, man.
Several.
And we'll talk about it later. We might as well talk about it now. But whatever year that was, that I know this for 100% fact. Okay, so breaking freaking news. I knew it from both sides. That when LSU played Auburn, this is 4 years ago, whenever
Les
it was.
Miles, Gus Malzahn.
The Les Malzahn. Whoever lost that game was getting fired on Monday.
Yeah.
LSU wins the game. And then they review it, and the clock hit 000. On the last play of the game, I don't know if you remember that, they score. But they review it and realize the clock hit 000 before the play. So they killed it. The game's over with.
Yeah, I remember.
They review the play. There was no time on the clock. Gus Malzahn wins.
Saved by a split second.
All right, what happens? Well, Ed Orgeron's now, and this is why you got to be careful about doing stuff like that.
Right.
All right. Ed Orgeron takes over as the interim coach. Well, he goes on and wins. Well, guess what? They have to hire him, right? Yep. Gus Malzahn, that you were going to fire, just so everybody knows, you were firing him on that Monday. I know that for a 100% fact.
I believe you.
I can't describe to you how 100% that is.
I believe you.
He goes to the Sugar Bowl that year. You were going to fire the guy that took your team to the Sugar Bowl, but you were wanting 2-3 games in the season or whatever. We've become too emotional. The fandom has gotten too fanatical. You're 2-1. And don't get me wrong, I saw what the same thing, you say you see with your eyes. I see the same thing. It's 2-1. But what you do is if you're wanting to make a change, you have nothing to gain by getting rid of the guy right now. We saw how much that helped Nebraska on Saturday.
Agreed.
You're not doing anything but hurting yourself.
Right.
And you're not going to make your season any better. Okay, that's one. You're not going to hire a coach with 5 games left to go in the season.
No, you just
unless he's out of work.
You're going to promote somebody that's on the staff already.
Yeah. So the guy you're not fixing the problem by doing it right now. You're doing nothing but hurting yourself. Because if you fire a guy 15 games into his tenure, that shrinks your candidate pool. Because the guys that you're going to want to go after, that you really want to go get, that Auburn thinks they can go get, have good gigs.
Yeah.
They're not coming. Newsflash.
I don't think so either.
I just spit all over the table. They're not coming. Newsflash. Let him finish the year, and if you want to make a change, make a change. But don't, and pay the guy his money. Don't try to freaking create some scandal that didn't happen.
And look, let's say you're hiring Hugh Freeze, there's no incentive to fire Harsin now. If you're going to hire Hugh in December, finish the season and then hire Hugh.
Like, people probably on here thinks that's a joke. He'll be on the short list.
Well, yeah, because look,
did you just watch their game the other night? By the way,
I did not.
He went for 2 to win the game against Wake. Almost got it. He tried the old, I forgot what we called that. I think we called that circus. He tried the old reverse flip to the. We were one of the first people that did it, and now everybody runs it. Flip reverse, try to throw the quarterback in the flat, go for 2. Everybody runs it now, 2-point play, but lost to Wake by 1.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
The new quarterback he's got, that kid's pretty damn good.
Look, Hugh's a very good offensive coach.
Yeah.
He's a good program builder.
He can recruit.
He's a good program builder.
But I'm not ready to run. I just, as an Auburn person, though, Neal, I mean, look, and we can call it want to, is I just, and I'm just say this for everybody, it just makes no damn sense to me that we continue to go the same damn path every single week. Well, guess what? If he wins this week, it's never going to be over. Okay, if he goes to Georgia and gets blown out, they're going, the heat's on now, like you just said. It's almost inevitable. Like, you can't, what's good enough?
I don't know. You tell me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so frustrated with the whole situation that I don't know. I don't know what's good enough.
I mean, well, here's their schedule the rest of the way.
Ryan Marshall said Philly special, and that may be the actual name of that play, by the way.
Because it was the play the Eagles ran in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that may be what we called it. I can't remember.
So they got Missouri at home. They get LSU at home October 1st.
I'll be there, by the way.
Oh, that's right. You're going to that game.
Yeah.
They go to Georgia October the 8th. They go to Ole Miss October the 15th. They get a weekend off. They'll need it after that. That's a stretch. They get Arkansas at home, then at Mississippi State, Texas A&M at home. And for some reason, I can't get the rest of it. And obviously, Alabama's left on the schedule. I think there's somebody, and then Alabama.
See, for me, and again, this is for me, and Auburn fans Auburn fans have always been like this. I mean, this is nothing new.
Yeah.
There's some couple fan bases in the world, and Auburn's definitely part of them. And I'm guilty as charged. But in my opinion, if the guy goes 7-5, he deserves another shot. I've said that from the jump.
Okay.
I do. Because you've handicapped him. This is what I wish the fans knew, is once you tried that coup.
Oh, they get Western Kentucky before Alabama.
Not a slam dunk.
No.
They took Indiana into overtime this week. Really, Tom and them had to drive to end the game. That was a worrisome. But they won in overtime. They were down 8, scored at the end. But you go, people don't, which I do because they're clients of mine, I understand what they were left with.
I know you do. I'm just telling you, he's not surviving 7-5. Whether he should or shouldn't.
No, I agree. I'm with you. I understand what you're saying because I know that's what I was talking about. I understand I get it.
Right.
But the fans also need to be realistic and understand what he was left with when he got there too. So it wasn't snow clouds, bunny rabbits, and My Little Ponies. He didn't walk into a great situation. P.S. There's a reason.
Snow clouds,
bunny rabbits, and My Little Ponies.
My Little Ponies. Okay.
Snow
clouds are pretty.
Yeah.
You look up and you see the snow clouds, and you're like, "It's going to snow." It's
It was pretty. Nice. The quarterback room was pretty bad when I was there. At the end, we had Gabe Gross and Ben Lear.
But Grind makes the point that I'm kind of making a little bit. Here's the thing that counts against him: his quarterback room is his room. He brought them all in.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And that looks. Here's the problem with the Auburn job today. Okay, is that you're sandwiched between the two best programs in the country.
Right. Damn in the middle of them.
And those are your rivals, and you play them every year, and I covered Auburn for years. I know what I'm talking about when I say this. Those are the two games that their fans care the most about, and their fans care about all the games. But when you're sandwiched between Georgia and Alabama at this moment in time, when those are undisputably, without a question, the two best programs in the country, not teams, programs. When you're sandwiched between those two programs in a league that's about to add Texas and Oklahoma, in a league where suddenly you look around and everybody else is kind of getting better and you're not. Tennessee's on the rise. Ole Miss is on the rise. Arkansas is on the rise. LSU with Brian Kelly, they're going.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a second.
I'm just telling you. And so you look at it and you go, what are we doing? Here's my thing if I'm Auburn, and this is the soul searching, that someone in the room, and here's the problem, is that nobody gets in that damn room because it's a handful of boosters. But someone in the room needs to go, hey, look, we got to pull our head out of the clouds or out of somewhere else and figure out exactly who we are. What are we doing? Because this next one, if you're going to do a next one, you got to get it right. Because whoever comes in has a rebuild to do in a place that's not an environment, in a league where it's just hard. Like Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer got asked Saturday, are you worried that some guys are quitting or whatever in the locker room? And he's like, what? Guys, we just played two good teams. The truth is, played a good team in Arkansas and played a great team in Georgia.
Best.
And Sam Pittman's in year 3. Kirby's in year, I don't know.
6, I think. 5 or 6.
Rolling.
Yep.
Shane's in year 2. It takes a minute. Josh Heupel took a minute. Lane Kiffin didn't take long, but he's in year 3 now. He's established. This is hard.
Here's the thing where I get concerned, and Grind, you can hate on this all you want to, or Auburn fans in here can hate on this all you want to. If you keep hitting the reset button, 15 games not good. That's not good.
Right.
You're going to wake up and you're going to be Nebraska.
Well, there's no question about that. That's why
that's where my concern is.
That's my thing. Is this is a critical moment for them. It's you better go get somebody who knows how to run a program, and then you're going to have to give him time. And here's the part that I'm not convinced they can do. You got to get out of his way. Yes. You got to get out of his way.
And again, I don't care if you agree with it or you disagree with it or whatever the point is. If you hire a guy to do his job, let him do the job you hired him for.
Yeah.
And from the second he took that job, he has not been allowed to do his job.
Well, because he won't do it the way they want him to do it.
Correct. But he hasn't been allowed to do it the way they. So
that's their thing. I mean, it's one of the reasons I think Hugh makes a ton of sense there, honestly. Now, Hugh's problem is that there's going to be a lot of criticism there because there just is. It's a scrutiny job. And everything you do is scrutinized, and I don't know that Hugh can get off Twitter.
Yeah, I get that point. Look, Hugh's going to be on a short list. Hugh can recruit, I don't know, man.
Who else is on that list? Because if there's a list, let's be real. I mean, Harson's not surviving this. If he does,
that's the thing. I don't know if there's going to be a long list. I know there's a wish list, but you can wish in one hand and you can shit in the other one.
Why not
see which one fills up faster?
Hey, they were going to hire Kevin Steele. Could they go hire Kevin Steele now, or is that ship sailed?
No, I mean he would do it, sure, but and look, I love Kevin. I think he's a great ball coach. But that's just going to inflame the fan base even more.
John Talty wrote about Lane Kiffin.
Not a chance in hell. I don't even know why we're having a conversation about it. How much is Lane getting paid here?
$7.5.
How much is Auburn going to pay?
I don't know.
Because now they're going to be paying 2 head coaches.
And Ole Miss can pay more. Look.
Like, people don't understand. There's more to this than – now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Will Hugh take the job for 5?
At Auburn?
Yes.
Yes.
Would he take it for 4?
Let me think about it.
Yes. Would he take it for 3? Yes. Would he take it for 2? Yes. He'd take that job. I don't think money's an issue with him. Okay. Now, he's got Jimmy Sexton, so he'll be fine.
So, yeah, they're not going to do that. But Hugh's not going to make Auburn break the bank.
No, correct. And, dude, and look, I think that as far as Lane leaving, that's not one I would be. Now, 2 years ago, okay, we're having a conversation.
Totally different.
But why?
That's why I had no problem with what Talty wrote. I've had some people push back against him, like, hey, every word that John wrote, and John and I are not friends. I mean, we don't hate each other or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know him. every word he wrote was right.
Well, I think now if I was an Ole Miss fan, if I was concerned about Lane leaving, it's not even an NCAA job.
It's NFL.
NFL. That's where I would be concerned. Maybe
The
I can
only-
see UCLA.
Yeah, the only college job that I think is going to
Well, hell, he's 3-0.
could potentially come open, and at this point I don't think it will, is UCLA, and that because there's California and there's families out there and all that stuff. I mean, I could see that. The problem with UCLA right now is that they have so many financial issues that they have to get resolved. And then if you take the UCLA job, you only take it whether you're Lane Kiffin or anybody else. The only way you take the UCLA job is if you absolutely know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you are going to be as invested as USC is. Otherwise, you don't do it because the leagues you're jumping into the Big Ten.
I don't see. Like, again, I'm with you. I mean, look, it's to me right now, I mean, I could be dead. I mean, unless Nick Saban retires at the end of the year and they make a push for him, and Kirby's not going anywhere right now. So I
agree.
I mean, you're making $7. What's he making? 7.5?
7.5.
Dude.
And look, if he goes 9,
guy could coach here forever.
if he wins 9 or 10, they'll jump him to 9 or 10. They're going to pay him.
Yeah,
it's not going to be about money. It's there. I'm with you. I think there are a handful of jobs that if they came open and he got offered, you take. Like, does Lane Kiffin leave for Alabama? Of course he does. So does everybody else.
And you know how this place is if there's going to be look, and I'll say this, and this is probably the best saying I have for coaches, and I wish fans would understand this. Coaches rent whistles. Okay, you're just renting the whistle.
Sure.
There is going to come a day where Lane Kiffin is no longer coaching at Ole Miss. It's going to happen.
Of course.
So you're just renting the whistle. And whenever that day comes and he decides to go to the NFL, hell, if he decides to take the Auburn job, it doesn't matter. You say thank you and you move along.
Yeah.
And you don't hold it against guys and things like that. But I think for me, if I was an Ole Miss fan, my concern would be more about the NFL than it would be the NCAA.
I agree completely.
I mean, I could be dead wrong.
And here's the thing,
but it would shock me.
And here's the thing about the NFL is that there's a lot of NFL jobs that don't pay what he's making today. And I don't know that it's all about money, but
it just depends on the owner.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah, but I agree with you. In fact, of all the rumors that I heard last year, the one that I thought had the most validity was an NFL rumor.
Yes, I agree. But here's the thing: I want to say something that where Auburn's. You have to understand about this candidate pool. You're going to have people throwing out these names and things like that. All right, they just paid. I mean, what was Gus Malzahn's buyout? Wasn't it like 14 or something crazy?
That sounds right.
Okay, what do you think Harson's buyout's going to be?
Something similar, I'm guessing.
So in a year and a half, you're going to spend $30 million basically for people not to coach.
Well, as you know, you have to finish paying the staffs and all of those things. Those are contracts. You have to honor that.
And so, just so people know, when you fire a coach, that money is real money. It's not like, okay, you have to take that physical money and you have to put it basically into a escrow. Okay, so you actually physically have to have the money to put over there. You can't just go fire him, let's hope he gets another job. No, that money has to physically be put in escrow. So you're going to pay $30 million for people not to coach?
It's a lot.
All right. So now what's our pool going to be? That we're going to be able to pay another coach?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happens if he doesn't do what they want to do?
Well, they'll want to fire him.
When does the cycle stop?
That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to go find the cultural guy that fits your culture. And Auburn's culture right now is boosters want access. They want to be coddled. The big ones.
Yeah.
It's another reason Lane's a terrible fit for that job. I mean, just awful.
Zero chance.
But you got to find somebody who'll do that for you. I mean, frankly, the more I talk about it, the more I go.
Oh, Grind said $30 million on Gus. 16 a day he was fired. Get you some of that.
Man, I'd love to get that deal.
And you know what he got out of it? He gets to coach my boy JRP and go to Disney World every other day.
But the more I think about it, the more Hugh makes a ton of sense. He makes a ton of sense. I mean, really, I don't think he'll get it. I don't think that's who they'll go to, but he makes a lot of sense.
If Harsin gets fired, I would damn near be shocked if Hugh Freeze wasn't the next head coach at Auburn.
Oh, he makes a ton of sense.
He
would coddle the boosters. He would do all the PR stuff. He would recruit because now the way that they would like to recruit is perfectly legal. He probably would get people motivated with NIL. Hugh's a very good coach.
Grind said, "How's Auburn not a good job? You get $30 million for failing." I mean, but did he really though? I mean, he takes you. I mean, he did. He had. You were trying to fire him. He took you to a Sugar Bowl. I mean, he had one bad year.
And Auburn doesn't care about what happens at Liberty this season.
No, but he's winning. I mean, shit. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he came within about 2 yards of beating a top 20 team Saturday. He's going to win. Look, the guy wins, man. You can call it 1-2. He had one bad year here at the end. Was it just one? Because didn't he go to the Sugar Bowl and then have the bad year and he got fired after that?
He had the bad year.
Not counting the other stuff.
And frankly, he sort of benefited. He was going to have a really bad year the year that Matt was the interim. Matt did a terrific job to get that team to 6-6 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Hugh had lost the roster, and I think that season was going to fall apart on him. In many ways, assuming that let's say he lands the Auburn job, he kind of gets bailed out, even though he lost $17 million because he didn't get a buyout at Ole Miss. They fired him with cause. He kind of gets bailed out a little bit because he doesn't have that hanging on him.
Yeah, Connor says if Hugh ends up at Auburn, then Saban might get a tad salty. No, Nick actually likes Hugh.
Nah.
They get along.
People don't believe me when I tell them this. During the Ole Miss NCAA investigation, they kept going to Alabama trying to get players to talk, and those players did not talk. Nick Saban was not part of it. That's not who he is. That's not what he does. Nobody believes that, and I'm just telling you flat out.
They may or may not try to get a coach to talk.
Nick Saban was not allowing that in his building. That's not where he goes. That's not how he operates. You can think what you want to think. It's just not true.
Oh, I don't know if I can say this or not.
You want to, so
I
go
do.
ahead. You feel so much better after you say it.
I know, but I can't. I don't think I can. Nick Saban is a friend of Ole Miss football. Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay. So for everybody that gets pissed at Nick as an Ole Miss fan, you better say thank you.
I know what you mean.
I can say that, right?
Yeah, that's maybe a little stronger than I would have put it, but yeah.
If Nick Saban wanted to bury Ole Miss football, he could have buried Ole Miss football.
He could have. There was a couple things that were done that he could have at that time. Yeah.
And so every time you decide to get salty, go, you know what? He's not such a bad guy.
Well, he's always been smart enough to know that everybody's got skeletons, and if people start digging, you never know what they'll hit.
Those in glass houses do not throw stones, sir.
He's always known that. So credit to him for that. But look, I mean, Hugh Freeze is the reason that Nick Saban went and hired Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. That
offense gave them fits. And so he said, what is it that they're doing? Let's figure it out, because it was completely antithetical to what he did what he believed in as a football coach. But he looked at it because Ole Miss beat him twice and damn near beat him 3 times. But after that second one, he goes, "Hey, we got to do something about this."
Yeah,
so he addressed it, and Lane Kiffin was a big part of that.
There was a big transition that year. Look at my boy Mark Franklin. You're not as far off as you think you are, Mark Franklin. I'm scared to know how you know that.
People know. I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, when Hugh came to Ole Miss, and you had golly, I got brain fog today. Guy goes to Texas A&M.
You should try prescription support from solutionsrx.com.
There you go. I got A&M.
Jimbo?
No, before Jimbo.
Kevin Sumlin.
He goes to. You had all these people from what they call the one back family and all that stuff was spread. And Gus goes to Auburn. And so the year before I went to Alabama was in like 73% what they call base personnel, and the next year, in 1 year, went from 73% base personnel on defense and snaps, to 80-something% nickel or sub. So it changed that whole wave in 1 year. Changed basically. Football was changed in the SEC in 1 year. So,
all right, last thing. Let's look quick look ahead, because we'll get back on Thursday with picks that are important for your boy here, because I don't need to lose more ground. Some interesting games. We got Clemson -7 at Wake Forest. We got the job security game that we just talked about, Missouri.
Both ways on that one now.
Yeah, Missouri +7. I know you think that Drinkwitz could have some issues. Over-under on that is 52. We've got Florida.
That's where I'm leaning, just so everybody knows. I'm looking at the under of 52.
Florida is at Tennessee. The Gators getting 10.5.
Dude, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. I'm just going to let this line go up. I'm fixing to take the Gators and the points.
Shoot, man. I'm thinking about taking Tennessee and laying.
I think I know. That's why I'm going to take it.
Notre Dame is at North Carolina. The Tar Heels giving a point to the Irish.
I'm on that one. I'm going to be on that game.
I tell you, this is a good game. It's a sneaky good game. Oregon -5.5 at Washington State.
Watch out, Ducks fans.
Washington State's a little salty.
Watch out, Duck fans.
We've got the game at Jerry World between Arkansas and Texas A&M.
Where are you at right there?
I'm leaning towards.
All right, act like nobody's listening. It's me and you talking.
I'm leaning towards laying the 2.5. Here's why. But here's the thing. It's the interesting part about this game. I don't think the game this year is going to be a hell of a lot different than the game last year. The question is, A&M's got the defense to slow down Arkansas, to stop Arkansas. They did it last year. The difference was Arkansas hit some big plays. Now, A&M doesn't have the offense, in my opinion, to really take advantage of Arkansas's weakness. And people do this Missouri State thing. I've already heard it. Boy, two things. You will agree with everything I'm about to say. People do this. Boy, Missouri State scared them. They did. Two things. Arkansas was flat. Coming off of 2 emotional games, in front of 2 games. You can't trick kids. Trick kids, go FCS. We're going to kill them.
You saw what happened. They needed it, though.
Yeah. But the second thing is, Bobby Petrino's a hell of a football coach.
Oh, he's one of the best schematic guys in the world.
And they called a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Quarterback's pretty good.
They're like a number 3 ranked FCS team. Is that right?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Arkansas, you can't play with that kind of fire. But it was predictable. In fact, if you read Neal's picks, I predicted it. I damn near nailed the score.
Did you really?
I did. I said, hey, this is going to be a lot closer. They're going to be flat. Petrino's going to be sky high. You don't think Petrino's spent a little time on this game plan, do you?
Probably about 3 years worth.
I mean, at least 3 months. They had a good plan, executed it. At the end of the day, Arkansas won. The question is, I don't know that A&M can take advantage of Arkansas's weakness, which is their secondary's not very good. I didn't see anything from Max Johnson that made me go, oh, yeah, boy, they're going to light them up. That's not who they are. They're A-Chain, who's very, very good. They have a standard offensive front. Their receivers are okay. Their quarterback play is blah, frankly. A-Chain's a stud.
What did you think about the quarterback play Saturday night?
It was fine. It wasn't great. I mean,
I saw some positives, though.
There were. I mean, he did some things, but
he was stepping up in the pocket and giving the route. Like, I think it's going to be a better fit.
I agree.
He was stepping up the pocket. He was taking shots.
It's still a Jimbo offense.
I know, but he probably had 5 completions that were not completions a week ago.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No,
it's going to help them be better. Not saying there's some kind of offensive juggernaut.
It's going to help them be a little more balanced.
A little more balanced, a little bit better going towards the future.
And then the question is, can they take away the big play from Arkansas? And Arkansas has a bunch of dudes who can make big plays, as you see. I mean, that's what they do. Look at them on film. They hit 80 yards plays a couple times a week. I mean, they do those kind of things. So I think the line's about right. It's a hell of a game.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you I'm taking A&M -2.5 on that one.
I'm 90% sure that I am as well. Iowa giving 7.5 at Rutgers.
I had to put this on there.
Well, I mean,
I'm betting this game. I don't know whether I'm taking the under at 35.5. I don't know if I'm taking Rutgers +7.5, or I don't know if I'm taking Rutgers money line. This will be one of my picks on Thursday.
This might be 2 of my picks.
I may pick all 3 of them.
USC, it's another interesting game. USC giving 6.5 at Oregon State.
It's where Corvallis, where dreams go to die.
Texas giving 5.5 at Texas Tech. Texas Tech always plays the Longhorns.
Sneaky good.
Yeah, and they always get up for this game. Utah -15 at Arizona State.
All right, hang on.
I kind of like this one.
All right, I wrote this down here for one reason only. I would go in and go ahead and I'm taking it like I may bet it today. I'm taking Utah -15.5. Dude, Herm Edwards got fired. He was the last piece of glue holding that thing together.
Yep.
I mean, you're going through an NCAA investigation. Your head coach just got fired. They just lost to an FCS team, and you got Utah coming in here who's trying to make a point and score points.
Oh, I love Utah here. That's what I'm saying. I think
I don't see them rallying around whoever the next interim is going to be.
I think this will be one of my picks.
Yeah, I'm all over that one. And then quickly before we end, Monday Night Football tonight. We got 2 games.
Oh yeah, we do. Tennessee is at Buffalo. The Titans getting 10 points.
All right, I've already bet this one.
Which way'd you go?
Because I'm flipping a coin here, but I actually bought a half a point, and I'm taking Tennessee plus 10.5 at Buffalo.
Okay.
I mean, dude, it's the freaking NFL. Come on, Tennessee, keep it within 10.
I was listening to one of those big pregame shows on ESPN yesterday as I was driving, and one of the analysts said Minnesota at Philadelphia tonight. By the way, Philly getting
typed that wrong. They're minus 2.5.
Philly's minus 2.5. Here's what the hot take was. He said that might be a preview of the NFC Championship game.
I would say it's a half hot take.
Yeah.
Dude, Philly's good, man. Like, they basically controlled that game against Detroit last week. And with A.J. Brown there.
I want to watch Minnesota tonight, though, because Minnesota's offense last week really incorporated Justin Jefferson to a point where he looked like one of the best 2 or 3 wide receivers in the league. And I want to see, can you replicate that at Philly?
I already bet this one as well. I took Philly minus 2.5. Those are your Monday night bonus bets. Okay. I don't hate the over either. But, look, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are already, like, friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jalen used to come over to Oxford when AJ was here.
A.J. Brown's the best fantasy player every week because he's going to get fed. And, by the way, you got the former Heisman Trophy winner on the other side, Devontae Smith. They got, Goddard at tight end. You got Jalen Hurts. Dude, I think they're dynamite on offense. I think their defense is probably underrated. I think Philly. Name me a better right now. Who would
better team in the NFC?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to entertain the thought of Tampa the way that they've looked early.
You always got to throw Tampa, but who?
You got the New York Football Giants with David Jones.
2-0, baby.
No. In all seriousness, you'd have to talk about Green Bay because it's Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not ready to discount the Rams just yet, even though they don't look the part right now.
Yeah, but I'm not in on the Vikings yet, man. I
didn't say I was either, but I want to watch them because they looked really good in Week 1 against Green Bay, and I want to see what that looks like on the road.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant coach.
But Kirk Cousins, man, I can't get on that train just yet.
All right. Again, thanks to Rain.
You rolling empty over there too?
I'm out. And I'll tell you what's interesting is it's 3:38.
I felt like we just started.
I'm in like hour 20 of the fast. And this is kind of buzzing around, and I'm like, whoa, you feel it.
Get your mind. You haven't eaten in 20 hours?
I've not eaten since 7 p.m. last night.
Dude, it
works. It's what I do.
That's not right, man.
It is. It's good.
That's not possible.
I'm getting to 185. I'm going to do it.
What are you going to do when you get to 185? You just going to say F it and start eating or eating pizza, or what are we doing?
No, I just have to figure out how to maintain at 185. I'll have to think it.
Well, here's what I'm legitimately worried about with you on this,
mm-hmm.
is that you're going to, okay, I'm going to reward myself that I've made it to 185.
No, but I'm not going to reward myself with food.
Okay, alcohol.
No, I'll probably buy myself something. No joke.
Okay, but when you start trying to re-put food in your system,
yeah,
you're going to gain weight back.
That's absolutely not true. I've talked about this with my doctor. It's not true.
Your doctor is full of shit.
You do not. It does not impact your metabolism.
Well, this ain't got nothing to do with the metabolism.
And plus, if you drink this.
When you start putting sugar, then you don't
carbs, then you don't put sugar. You just eat healthy, which is kind of what I do. You don't eat a bunch of sugar. It's one of the things. One of the things about fasting is it's not really about fasting. It's about you're focused on your caloric intake, and if you reduce your calories, nobody cares right now.
Yeah, nobody cares. But if you put a couple pounds on, I don't want you going all crazy on me and going like, I'm going 72 hours without eating today.
I make no promises.
Okay.
All right, we'll stop there. Again, thanks to our friends at Rain. Rain, Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. For Tyler Siskey, I'm Neal McCready. We'll be back with you guys on Thursday. Thanks to everybody for being in the stream. We really appreciate you. And we'll be back on Thursday with Make It Rain Thursday.
Make it rain.
And God only knows what else will be on that show. So until then, Take it easy.